The MoneyWatch.com email inbox is often flooded with questions about credit scores and credit cards. We're going to answer some of the most popular questions right now with the help of John Ulzheimer, the president of consumer education at smartcredit.com. Thanks for being here, John.
Thanks for having me, Jill.
I'm so excited because we have got a bunch of these great questions. Let's dive into them. The first question from Harry: if I'm 1 or 2 days late paying my credit card bill as opposed to 30 or 60 days late, will that adversely impact my credit?
That is a fantastic question. The credit reporting system in this country is largely voluntary. So credit card issuers can actually choose to report you delinquent or not report you delinquent. And some credit card issuers and other auto lenders and mortgage lenders as well will actually hold off and let you ride 30 days, even 60 days in some cases, before they'll start reporting you as being delinquent to the credit reporting agencies. I would not bank on this simply because you're depending on their generosity to not do so. The due date is not a suggestion. They really do want their payment by that date, so I would always endeavor to get the payment in beforehand, because you never know if you're going to be dealing with a very finicky credit card issuer or lender who immediately reports you late, even 1 day after the due date.
Would you just say that the majority, though, give you a few days grace, or not necessarily?
Well, remember what happens when you're late. When you're late, they can assess late fees. And so right now they're hurting for that fee income, so just be very, very careful. They're less likely to waive the fee these days, but it's still worth making the phone call and asking them if they're willing to do so. But of course, the way to completely avoid this conversation, pay it before the due date.
Gotcha. Harry has a follow-up question, and it's about his credit score. Does using a department store credit card hurt my credit score? Am I better off not applying for these cards and using my Visa or Amex card instead?
Yes, the short answer is yes. It actually can hurt your score by depending on department store cards versus your Visas, your Discovers, your Amexes, and here's why. They have such low credit limits that even modest purchases, a pair of boots, a suit, some shirts, can make the card seem very, very maxed out because you don't want that balance to be too close to the limit. But the same purchase on a Discover card or a Visa with their $10,000 or $15,000 limit is completely meaningless to your credit score, so keep that in mind.
Okay. Here's one from Tony. I think a lot of people had their credit ruined as a result of the recession. Are there credible, successful companies who perform credit repair?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. Credit repair has a very, very bad reputation. The credit reporting agencies, the Federal Trade Commission, all essentially believe that credit repair is a big scam. Having said that, credit repair is not illegal. That is a myth. As long as you function within the bounds of the Credit Repair Organizations Act, then you are functioning legally as a credit repair organization. Some of these companies can be very, very successful getting negative information off of your credit report before the 7 or 10-year statute of limitations, which is how long it's allowed to stay on by federal law. Now, what they do is essentially flood the credit reporting agencies with letters challenging the validity of the information, and then they'll charge you for that service. You can do this yourself and save the money, but if you choose to hire one of them to do it, then go for it. But make sure that they are functioning within the Credit Repair Organizations Act. And one way to find out if they are, they have to give you a disclosure before they charge you that says, you can do all of these things that I'm about to do for you for absolutely no cost. If they're not giving you that disclosure, then you know they're not going to be following federal law, and I'd steer clear.
Right, run the other way. Nikki's newly married. She wants to know, does my credit score now directly affect my husband's score and vice versa? Here's a nice way to get started in your relationship.
Yeah,
Let's talk about our credit scores.
Yes, honey, I love you and your FICO 800 score. The answer to the question is no. The credit reporting agencies maintain credit reports at the individual consumer level, and because of that, your credit scores are also maintained at the individual consumer level. So when you get married, your credit reports don't magically merge together, your credit scores don't magically merge together. If you allow it to do so, then it can, and here's how. If you apply jointly for credit cards, or jointly for mortgages, or jointly for auto loans, then the lender will likely pull both of your credit reports and take into consideration all of the information and both of the credit scores. If you choose to apply just you or the husband, then the credit reporting agencies will never see what's on the other credit file.
Oh, very interesting. Here's one more from Placide. What credit score do I need to apply for a mortgage or a car loan today? Yeah, 5 years ago it was like, you know, whatever, 200.
Right. Yeah,
but what about today?
If you could fog a mirror 5 years ago, you qualified
That's
for a
right.
mortgage. Today, clearly the standards are very, very different than they were 5 years ago. You need very, very good scores to get the best deals that mortgage lenders and auto lenders are offering. And right now, those are fantastic deals. 0% from captive lenders for some models, 4.5% to 5% from mortgage lenders. So it's a great time to be a buyer if you can afford to do so. Having said that, those rates that I just quoted you are for the FICO Elite, 750 and above. But you can still get mortgages with FICO scores in the 600s. You can still get auto loans with the FICO scores in the 600s, but you're going to pay more for it, obviously.
Thank you so much for joining us, John. Always enlightening when you join us.
Thank you very much for having me.
And thanks for watching.